Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your good old Bastet Jungle Guide. Gonna be grabbing ourselves that Boombas, heading right into the Morning Star, as well as a purification beads. On Bastet, we don't need no blink, and also if you look at the enemy composition, we against an Ares, we against a Nox, we are gonna need beads. In fact, if I could have 6 pairs of beads, I would, because otherwise we are going to go down. And if you want to save the Twitchiest community from going down, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that bell for notifications so you never miss a video. Would be a shame. So for Bastet here, guys, she is a fairly meta support right now. Meta support? Support? No, don't let Gabe give you any ideas. No matter where he plays Bastet, regardless of him playing her mid, support, ADC, I will not fall for it. I will not let him in my brain. A fairly meta jungler. She's actually been good ever since her rework. She's been kind of in the meta, mostly because she's not that hard to play. And also, her ultimate is very good. It's basically Fenrir ulti on steroids. So, for our abilities on Bastet, we will be starting with our Razor Whip. This is going to be our first and most important ability on Bastet. We will be maxing it out first. Real straightforward ability. You click the button. It's a giant cone that you basically can't miss. And everything that you hit in the area is going to bleed. Now I'm gonna get my 3 as my second ability right here. That way it throws down a root onto the Pele. Oftentimes you're gonna wanna get your pounce second. That way you can get your movement online. But in this particular scenario, we outcleared them so much in mid lane because they have a Nox and we have a Rock. So I took the opportunity to simply get a little bit more poke, a little bit more aggression in with the 3. So do with that as you will. The safer play there, just to go ahead and get the pounce. There's a Pele right in front of me though, so I'm gonna go ahead and root her right there. I'm gonna get some more free poke on him as we run back to the mid lane. As a jungler, you kind of just stick around mid, stealing a camp here or there until these mid camps spawn. These mid camps are quite important. A lot of XPs for these bad boys. Typically, you're going to end up splitting them with the enemy team. If you can find a way to get both of them, though, that'll be a nice early game XP and gold lead for you and your mid lane. Gonna go ahead and grab my pounce right now. Gonna throw down a root onto Pele, jump in, and we should be able to grab ourselves a quick little first blood right there. As they say, first blood off, first blooded. And also, their red buff is coming up very soon. So I'm gonna do a little pings to call for a wave and then red buff. Their Nox is super low. She shouldn't really be able to contest this. We had already killed the Pele, and now we get to go aggressive in the jungle. So for that level order on Bastet, you're going to level up her in the order of 4, 2, and then you have a choice. You can either do 3, 1, or 1, 3. Most of the time, I like to level up Pounce first because it does reduce the cooldown of the ability. Which I find good both offensively and defensively. Sometimes, though, people almost exclusively want to use it in a defensive manner, and so they level up to 3 so they can get more damage off with the cat. I prefer 4, 2, 1, 3. You can do 4, 2, 3, 1. Ulti, you level up, more damage, more cooldown. You level up your Razor Whip because that is your main damaging ability. And then I prefer Pouncer once again for that cooldown. Bastet, kind of an all-around god. Not a super ultra early god. She leans a little bit into the later stages of the game. You can see that her early game is not bad by any means. Has good wave clear, has good jungle clear. But she leans into the mid-late game as far as jungles are concerned. She does provide a good amount of CC in those team fights. She does have very strong mid-game gank potential. And she will lose in the ultra early to the more early game focused junglers, the Arachnes, the Thanatoses of the world. They will be able to win that fight against you. Your early game, a lot of the times, if you're getting run at, if you're getting W keyed at, you're just gonna have to go ahead and root the enemy. And then you can jump over a wall and get away. Quick trick on the pounce. Whenever you're pouncing away from an enemy, particularly when you're like genuinely trying to escape a fight, it's oftentimes a good idea to kind of force them to cover one particular direction or another. Think about how you would kind of use a chalk axe where you can throw out the axe and then run a different direction, and then they have to cover, well, do I cover the axe teleport or do I just cover them running? Same kind of thing with Bastet jump. Give yourself multiple ways to get out of a fight. So like if I was trying to run to the red buff, maybe I jump over here and I start running this way, and if they leap after me, I can jump back and I can immediately start heading toward the other side. Try to give yourself a little bit of two ways to go. That way, if they do end up covering your escape, you can just skadoodle right on off in the other side.
Your left tower is under attack.
I was going to come do this purple buff, but it looks like there's a fight breaking out in dual lane that I might be able to assist in, might be able to grab a kill. Looks like there's a Nox here, so I'm going to quickly hop over this wall, look for just a couple of abilities onto this Nox. She is going to get the dodge right there off on my ultimate, but I think I'm going to be able to just go ahead and get in range of him to grab this kill. Almost going to live there, though. Pele tries to reach me with her ulti. She's not quite going to be able to do it. So then I'll just escape right out the back on that one. Good place from Nox, though. For Bastet matchups, we do not like going against cripples and silences on Bastet. They are very annoying for her in an acutely damaging way, and that's because of Pounce being an ability that you're supposed to specifically bait out. You're encouraged to jump into dangerous positions because then you always have that ability to jump back out. But if you get silenced, aka a Nox, if you get crippled, aka an Ares, the rest of your life is going to be miserable, because if you jump in, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're jumping out. So high CC comps can be very problematic for Bastet. Specifically, silences and cripples tend to be the most annoying for her, because those are also types of CC that you don't end up beadsing very often. If it's a stun, you're just gonna go ahead and beads it. But when you get silenced, you're like, am I really gonna beads a silence? And then I'm just gonna get Ares pulled later, so what do I do? So it puts you into an awkward predicament with your CC immunities. As far as what you are looking to go against, she can do well into anybody. She has incredible gank potential with her ultimate. Reminder that her ultimate does go through walls. She can pounce over walls. Her 2 and her 3 do not, but she can set up herself really easy with that ultimate. Not the easiest ability in the world to land, to be honest. It does require a little bit of practice in order to get that one down. Unfortunately, my chrono is just too low to really help me out in this engagement. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and get back up. Also, we went into Transcendence for our first item. Transcendence, pretty much the first item for like every assassin jungle right now. And then we're gonna take ourselves immediately into the Soul Eater. Soul Eater Transcendence combo on ability-based assassins right now. Disgustingly good. Pele can make this build work. Cleo, Bastet, etc. They all love this double stacking build. The amount of damage and sustain that you can get out of it is dummy thick. Just dummy thick.
Your left tower is under attack.
For pairings on your team, though, with Bastet, Bastet provides a lot of setup and a lot of CC, so you are looking for somebody to be able to follow up in that damage, particularly in the mid lane role. Raw, great partnership with Bastet. You land the Bastet root or the ulti, immediate beam ulti follow-up from Ra. Cernanos, actually a good follow-up on this comp as well. You pull somebody on Bastet, Cern immediately hits them with the 2. Now they're crippled in place. They're CC'd even longer. Or you follow up immediately with the Cernal. They're CC'd. Then you cripple after that. You're talking like 5 seconds of efficient CC coming out through those combos. All works really good with Bastet. You just want somebody that is able to follow up, preferably with either really big burst damage or a continuation of really big CC. Whether it's a Bacchus flop would be great. Whether it's the Cern ulti cripple, doesn't matter. Or a Poseidon ult, Scylla, or Ra ult. Gonna provide a ton of setup. Bastet also pretty wriggly. She doesn't necessarily need a lot of peel. Some assassins, like a Set, when they commit to a fight, they are like committing to a fight. Like they are W king in, and they are not giving themselves a way out. It's either the enemy is dead or they are dead. A god like Set you might want to pair with the Gebs and Kepris of the world. Bastet doesn't need anybody to proper support her. She should be able to support herself and get herself out of harm's way. So like this Cabrakan support, totally fine for a Bastet.
I've never seen
because I should be able to self-peel. My ulti gives CC immunity. I've got the double jump. I've got the root. And I'm going to eventually have this sustain coming out from the Soul Eater on all of my abilities as well, which of course pairs very well with Bastet's passive, giving her that ability lifesteal as well.
Another patriot has fallen.
For our combo and how we're traditionally going to use our abilities, it depends on how hard of a gank you are going for. But if you're going for a gank, say in the mid lane, you might start right off with the ultimate, take it right through the wall and pull that mid laner out of position. If your ultimate is down, then you're probably going to start off with your 3, so they are rooted in place. You want to try to keep your pounce up to follow people when at all possible. So I can throw out my kitty cat right there. Then I hit him with a little bleed. Now I'm diving into this tower, gonna grab myself that kill, and then go ahead and back up. Kept my beads up for that air result. So when you keep your pounce up until a little bit later in the fight, it allows you to chase with that pounce, grab the kill, and then make your way out. You don't want to necessarily initiate with the pounce, because then you lose a lot of your chasing. Now, if you can jump in with your pounce and land like a 4-man bleed in the middle of a team fight, and then jump back out and get a bunch of poke that way, that's fantastic. But in general, you're probably trying to save that pounce for the chase or even for a getaway.
You will not die in vain.
Now for my second active here on Bastet, I am going to get Blink. Blink's still a very good jungle active, but against this team comp and on Bastet because of her utility and movement, I made sure to get beads first, just a safer play. Still was able to get some early game kills, go for those early game ganks without necessarily needing to have the Blink to help me. One of those gods that can kind of thrive without it. For our positioning on Bastet, you are an assassin. So your job is to kill those that are in the back line above all else. That is your #1 job. So I will be diving into the Heim, the Nox, Pele, etc. Trying to get on whoever ends up doing the most damage. Right now it's Nemesis, but Nemesis is the solo laner. He's going a little bit tanky. So I don't probably want to make him my first target. So I'm going to try to prioritize some of those quicker, easier kills. Speaking of easier kills, there's a lot of people over in the duo lane right now. So we're going to try to position ourselves towards the enemy's back line, preferably on the backside of a wall, because when we are on the backside of a wall, it allows us to ulti right through it, which makes it a lot easier to hit our ultimate. Bastet ult, not the easiest ability in the game to hit. In fact, it takes a lot of practice, and it's a lot easier to consistently land that ability when the enemy doesn't know that it is launching at them. So being able to launch that right through a wall, then to pull them through, they're out of position, and not only are they out of position, they take quite a bit of damage, and then there's that giant slow spot left over them as well. So looking at the enemy comp right now, they are going to be pretty tanky on the Ares. Nemesis is going to get pretty tanky. Then they're going to have triple squishies. They got a Soul Leader coming out on Pele. They've got the HP 5 with the Ares plus the Thebes and the Sob. So I'm going to go right into a Brawlers. Bastet, super good at applying Brawlers onto a bunch of different people because of her AoE on her Pounce and her Bleed. So you should be able to efficiently distribute those Brawlers out on the enemy team, reduce the efficiency of those lifesteal items of any of their built-in healing, like the HP 5s that they got going for them.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack.
For our build focus on Bastet, you're going to see the theme here on junglers. It's kind of all the same. It's just the way that you get there is a little bit different. The theme is power, pound, and cooldown. Those are the 3 stats that you're always looking for on the jungle. And so it's just a matter of how can I get the biggest numbers of these as fast as humanly possible. When you do go the Transcendence Soul Eater route, this is going to give you 20% CDR right off the bat. Not only is it going to give you 20% CDR right off the bat, it's also going to give you a lot of power, like a ridiculous amount of power between these 2 items. You get the 40 power, plus you get another 40 power from Soul Leader, which is actually not all of the power you get, because also 3% of your mana is then converted to physical power. So you're getting well over 100 power even in the early game with these items. Plus you've got the 20% CDR, plus you get penetration online, plus you get lifesteal online with all of that. And then on a lot of guides, you can follow up immediately with a Hydras, which will give you 10% more CDR, 10% more pen. Bastet, a okay Hydras procer, but not the best. She's a little bit more in the vein of full-blown abilities trying to keep your distance. You don't necessarily always have opportunities to be auto-attacking in between.
Your right tower is under attack.
Hydras, though, honestly, such a good item. Just by itself, from a pure, like, statistical standpoint, you can honestly buy a Hydras on anybody, and it'll at least be an okay item. I really don't think there's a situation in Smite where Hydras is a outright bad item. It's probably decent at worst. But on Bastet, she's not my favorite user of Hydras. This game, I would rather have a Brawlers, and then we're going to start moving into some more percent pens. Great user of Heartseeker, really common item right now for the late game in the jungle. And I'm also going to be transferring her into a Boomba Spear, going to give me a little bit more of that CDR, bunch more damage, as well as some penetration as well. Same kind of reasoning on the Boomba's hammer with Bastet. One, Boomba's hammer got nerfed fairly recently, so only gives you 0.5 seconds off of your cooldown instead of a full second. Two, much like the Hydras, you're not necessarily always getting auto attacks in between your abilities. Sometimes you're just jumping in, doing a full ability set, and then jumping right back out, which means that the pure efficacy level of that Boomba's is lost compared to a character like Suki, who's always auto attacking. Just gonna jump in, honestly, on this Ares. Try to get some poke out. I've got my ulti for the CC immunity. Gonna have to go ahead and use it. See if I can't yeet him back to us. Unfortunately, a Pele comes up right behind us in this situation. So that's gonna be a bit of a tough one for us there. So next up, we're gonna start working ourselves into a Heart Seeker. The Heart Seeker is gonna give us 10% pen, which is good, so we can get a little bit more online with our Soul Leader. And then inevitably, when we get that Boomba's Spear, we're gonna have 30% CDR and 30% pen, which then gives us kind of an entire leeway on our last item. Red Pot will bring us up to 40% CDR, so we could grab another little pen item. We could grab ourselves a Mantle of Discord for a little bit of defensive item. Heck, you could even get a Magi's Blessing, go pure defensive, or go pure offensive, get yourself a Blood Forge. You could go a Titan's Bane, overcap a little bit on the pen, but honestly, you'd have so much penetration on that first ability, it wouldn't even really matter. Wouldn't even really matter. So at this stage of the game, we've been down, what, a player for like 10 minutes or so. Unfortunately, it was also our best combination that we had with Bastet, which means that we lost out on a lot of those wombo combo opportunities with our mid lane, which was of course also the lane that we were focusing on early in order to get ahead. But at the same time, this is Smite. Most of my games have a disconnect in it, so it's just kind of the name of the game. You just have to get used to playing down in players or against a team down in players if you are willing to play Smite at this time. Ooh. Going towards the Gold Fury. They may not have their entire team there, so perhaps we can get a quick pick on somebody. Good, Cernadol's ult gonna come down. Should let us kill that Pele. Heim's trying to get out of this one. I'm gonna throw down the ulti through the wall, see if we can hit him. He hears it coming out, so he does a little backstep. Throw down a little kitty cat in front of that Heim. And then I jump into this, have my beads at the ready for inevitably when he goes to ulti me afterwards. He sure did, but the tower is going to take me out anyway. But we grab ourselves a good kill there, and we get ourselves a lot of gold. So let's just finish up at Heart Seeker. So at this point in the game, even if Ra comes back, being level 9 is a hard spot to be in. He could farm up pretty fast, but I don't imagine after being gone for this long, he's probably coming back. So our goal is really to either last until the point where they also get a disconnect, or if we can get a really early pick in one of the fights, maybe their Pele is super out of position, try to kill her instantly with like a quick Bastet ult, and then we can have ourselves a 4v4. That's basically the position that we are currently in. That's kind of our win condition, which isn't a lot, but it is the truth. Ah! There's so many! I'm just gonna try to ulti the Ares just to get a little bit of that slow off of me. The W keys have been firmly grasped, and I'm trying to play the runaway game. Run away.
These dragon beetles have never let me down.
Got some split pushing going on from Chrono. Split pushing, not a terrible strategy when you're down. Not gonna be able to just win the straightforward 1v1s. We are gonna be able to get a quick kill here on the Nox, which is nice. We had some creep pushed up and left. Trying to farm to get that spear online. Don't have ulti for 30. So don't have another pick available to us right now. And they are gonna push as a team, which is smart of them. Trying to keep a little bit of pressure on the bag right there, but that is gonna be a quick pick onto that sir, and we gotta just walk away. Getting some more split pushing going off in mid, so we are getting a little bit of objective gold out of this. We do have to try and defend the Fuego if they go for it, but they haven't made a serious attempt just quite yet on the Fire Giant, which is nice. They are now starting the Fire Giant. So I'm gonna put a lot of damage into this Ares. See if I can't get him off the Fire Giant that way. It looks like I was able to put enough pressure onto the Ares that made them be like, we're gonna lose our Ares if we keep doing this Fire Giant until it gets him off of it that way instead of me having to position closer to it
I will
and get closer into harm's way. Around the Fire Giant, same kind of idea on the positioning. Preferably, I would be around the backside of the Fire Giant. That way I can jump over the wall, get off some abilities, then try to jump back over. Hard team for me to jump back over the wall against, though, with all the crowd control that they have. Or I could even try to ulti somebody through the wall, bring them out of position, maybe interrupt their Fire Giant. They panic a little bit. Yoink. Just trying to get out of the range of that Pele. Gotta pop the beads for the Nox. Not a horrible little fight for us right now, though. We are gonna get that pick onto the Pele. I'm gonna look over towards the Nem or the Nox, because she's gonna be much easier to kill than the Nem. I use my blink to get closer to him. Unfortunately, she does throw down that silence before I can get my jump back off, and you can see why silences are so annoying for Bastet, because I've got 1 second left on my jump back right there. She throws down the Nox too. I can no longer use my jump back because I can't use my jump back. I don't got any movement up, and then Nem is able to finish the kill. Last item in this game, as much as I need CC immunity, as nice as it would be to have something defensive, like a Magi's or a Mantle of Discord, like that would be great. Because it's a 4v5, I definitely have to go something in the damaging route, because I need to be able to instant kill somebody.
Oh, this is remarkable. I've never seen anything
to
like
make
it.
the fight a 4v4 instead of a 4v5. So I'm gonna go right into a Titan's Bane. I'm gonna get that extra physical pen on my first ability, and you've just gotta kind of YOLO. Sometimes the YOLO is the only way. Probably shouldn't have killed that, honestly. That was dumb of me. Just trying to get some pressure onto this Nem. Got the Magi's off, which is nice. There's the shield down. Good little dodge right there from him. She is quite low, but the Pele ult comes in. So we got to back up off of that. We still got the split pushing going on over in the duo lane. But the Chronos damage is a little lackluster. Got the regrowth and the wing blade. There's maybe a little bit more focus on the damage there, then maybe something could happen, but there's just not enough threat on the split push right there for anything to really happen.
You should have finished me when you had
Very
the
speedy
chance.
Chronos, but not gonna be able to burn down the
I will be the one to
T2's
save this
Chronos.
planet.
Phoenix defense-wise, same kind of thing. When they push in for these Phoenixes, I can try to be off on the side and then try to hit them with a quick ulti through the wall. Preferentially the Heim. If I could get the Heim dead right off the bat, they lose a little bit of their Phoenix pushing power. They do have the Pele and the Nem, though, to continue to bring some physical damage onto the Phoenix, but they're melee, so it'll take them a little bit longer to get up to it. So let's go grab ourselves that Titan's Bane and then just kind of throw it all at the Heim to see if we can kill him quickly at the start. Maybe we can force a quick little Magi's on the Nem or something as well. Heim appropriately staying on the opposite side of where I am. I've got to do a little switcheroo here. Normally you would be able to kind of jump in and look for a little bit more poke action. But against this team, it's just not going to be possible. So I can throw out my kitty cat at least and try to get some poke that way. Threw down the ulti for the Ares because I saw that he was at like 1 HP. And so I am able to get a quick pick onto that Ares as well as killing the Pele in the back, which is nice. But unfortunately, Heim goes back to his 3, and so he gets to kill me back there in the jungle. Honestly, the Phoenix defense went really well considering the situation in this game. That was about as good as we could have hoped for. So we'll get those temporal beads to get ourselves an extra couple seconds of cooldown. And now that we've got 2 Phoenixes down, plus the Fuegos, plus the player, at this point we just are kind of waiting for them to walk down and kill the Titan. Nothing we can do at this point.
My tracking
It is
beetles
now
could use some
officially over,
replenishment.
so we're just kind of chilling and waiting for the inevitable. We honestly held out quite nicely. There was no reason for this game to even be over 30 minutes. This one probably should have ended around the 26 or so minute mark or so. The team's done a fairly good job just staying alive, preventing them from killing the Titan for so long. Basically, last YOLO hope is just to come over to the fire giant when they start it. They've got the Phoenixes down and mid and right, so those are going to get pushed in by creeps. So we just gotta
These tracking beetles
Hope
have
for the
never let
best.
me
Try to
down.
instant kill somebody over at the fire giant. Somehow steal it as well. Stealing it plus getting the kills is going to be, you know, nearly impossible, but here we are. They've got the high vision, so they know that we're here. Throwing down the ulti, should be able to grab Pele. He does have beads up, it seems. Trying to blink in and get a little steal. Not gonna be able to do it. And that should be basically all she ripped. So Bastet, the basic idea, you're looking for a lot of poke, a lot of annoying through the walls. Your gank potential is through the roof. And as far as your build is concerned, you are looking for that power cooldown pen combo. Soul Eater is going to pair really well with your passive. Transcendence, just a generically really good item. And then of course in most of your games you're going to need anti-heal, so you're looking at the brawlers. The Heart Seeker, because you've got 4 damaging abilities, much like the Soul Eater. Very good item for you to go. The same concept with both of those. The more abilities you have that do damage, the more abilities that you have that can proc them. The more times you can proc them, the more efficient those items become over and over and over again. And then in this particular game, that Titan's Bane, just to really go for that one-shot oomph potential.
Tarabi warriors know how to look out for invaders.
Throwing out some threes, throwing out some threes. Ow. Throwing out some more threes. Tried to give me that swift little ulti right there. Ooh, so many Magizes. And you get a Magize, and you get a Magize. Everybody here gets Magize. You can see how much damage is coming out from the Bastet. Even in kind of the worst case scenario where I just get the jump in over and over again, but like the damage is just ridiculous if you can get it off. Woo! Just ridiculous. Oh. But that, guys, is of course going to be your Bastet Jungle Guide. And make sure you don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications and smash that like button into oblivion to save the channel and the content. Smash it. Smashing. Yeah, Bastet's a good god, man. She's a good god, but thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.